Good morning, students. How are you today? Almost done. Then you have the Thanksgiving week. So today we are going to start our class. The topic is angles and transversals. So we are going to be talking about types of angles depending on their measure, but also depending on the corresponding position between them. So let's start first with the types of angles depending on their measures. So the first type we have is acute. Acute is an angle that measure between 0 and 89. So basically, it's gonna be something like this is 90 degrees, so should be less than 90 degree. Okay, so between 0 and 89 is gonna be acute. Then we have the right angle, which is 90 degree. Then we have the obtuse angle, which is bigger than 90 but less than 180. So it's gonna be, this is 180, so our angle should be less. Okay, then this one could be here, but no, you can't have 180. Then we have the straight angle, which is exactly the 180 degree. And then we have the reflex angle that goes between 181 and 360. So we are talking that it passed this line a little bit. So it could be, for example, like this one here, which passed the 180, okay, until 360. These are some examples for you to get the type of angles we have according to the measure. Remember, when we talk about angles, we talk about degrees. That's the unit measure they have, okay, which is this little circle you have here. So then we have pairs of angles. When we have to compare two angles, okay, depending on the position they have, that's gonna be the name of our angle. For example, here we have the adjacent angles. Adjacent angles have a common side between them and share a common vertex. For example, look at this example here. So here you have a big angle, which is BAC. But this angle is divided in two. So angle 1 is adjacent with angle 2 because they share a common side, but also they share the vertex. They are one besides the other one. They are together, okay? They have a common side in between. For example, it's like your class, let's see this example, and Miss Maldonado class. You have a common wall there, that's right? So you are adjacent with the other class because you are one besides the other one. So the same happens with angles. The angles that are together, so one besides the other one, they are adjacent. Then we have the vertical. Vertical, they are opposing, one in front of the other one. So vertical is opposite angles. We have complementary. These are two angles that when you add them, the answer is 90 degree. And then we have the supplementary, which is two angles that is 180 degrees. Remember that this part here, okay, is between two angles. So adjacent, when two angles shares the same side, so have a common sides and the vertex. Vertical, when two angles are one in front of the other one, opposing to one to the other one. Complementary, when two angles add them and the sum give you 90. And supplementary is when these two angles, you add their measures and give you 180, okay? So this is between two angles, and this is just depending on the measure they have. So that would be the type of angle they will be, okay? So here we have our practice word today from 1 to 26, page 213. So I want everybody to go page 213. We are going to do together the first part, which are important concepts that you need to take into account. Number 1, angles are measured in units called, so I already said that, that's right. So how we call these little circles here, they are called degrees. Whenever we are measuring angles, we are talking about degrees. An angle that is 90 degree is, if it is 90, it is right, that's right. Then we have an angle that is 180 degree. What type of angle it is? It is a straight. If we are talking an angle that is between 180 and 360, how we call it? Is that here? Between 180 and 360, it is reflex, that's right. Then we have an angle that is less than 90, which is this one here. That's acute. And then two angles that share a common side between them and have a common vertex. What is it called? Adjacent. And number 7, two angles whose sum is 90 degrees. So when you add them, give you 90. What is the answer? They are complementary, okay? So those are the first 7. Now, the rest of the activity is very easy. From 8 to 13, you have to let me know which type of angle we are talking about depending on their sum. So you need to add them. If the answer is 90, it's gonna be complementary. If the answer is 180, it's gonna be supplementary. If it is not 90, it is not 180, so it's neither, that's right. For example, number 8, we have 120, which is angle C, and we have 60, which is angle D. When you add them, 120 plus 60, what is the answer? Yes, it is 180. So we are talking about complementary or supplementary. So we are talking about supplementary, which is the type of angles that when you add them give you 180. And that's what you have to be, that's what you have to do from 9 to 13. So the practice work that I want you to do, and I'm going to fix this here, is from 9 to 13. Okay, you just add them. If it is 90, it's complementary. If it is 180, supplementary. If it is not 90, either it is a 180, so it is gonna be neither, okay? So then we go with number 14, and on number 14, they are telling you to find the complement and supplement of each angle, and I'm going to do it here on the board. Letter A, so for letter A, you have 25 degrees. They want the complementary and they want the supplementary. So you already know what complementary means and supplementary means. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to subtract. When complementary, we are talking about complementary, we are going to subtract the 90 with the 25. So when you subtract these two, what is the answer? It is 65. So the complementary is 65. Let's do the same with the supplementary. Now we are not going to subtract with 90, we are going to subtract with 180. So 180 minus 25, so that is 155 degrees. So this is my complementary and this is my supplementary angle, okay? So we subtract by 90 when it is complementary, we subtract by 180 when we are talking about supplementary, and that's what you have to do from 15 to 19, okay? It's from the same page, 213. And then we have from 20 to 24, you have a figure that you need to look carefully, okay? And you need to answer those questions. Look at angle 1 and look at angle 8. What must be true about line A and B? So if they are equal, 1 and 8, because of the position they have, okay? A and B needs to be parallel, okay? So A and B needs to be parallel. Why? Because they are alternative exterior. So why alternative? Because if you look, 1 is outside one of the line and 8 is outside on the other side of the line. So they are alternative. They are not on the same section. One is in this section, the other one is in the other section at the very outside, that's right? So as they are alternative exterior, they are equal, and the lines AB must be parallel, okay? So number 21, what is the name for the relationship between 1 and 8? Now look at 1 and 8. So 1 and 8, as I told you, they are not on the same line, that's right? One is on the right, the other one is on the left at the very exterior section. So that's why we call it alternative angles, okay? Alternative exterior angles. Then we have number 22. What is the name of the relationship between 4 and 5? If you look, 4 and 5 are also, one is on the right, and I'm talking about taking into account the line they have in between. So 4 is on one side, 5 is in the other side, so that's why they are alternative, because they are not on the same side. But now they are not in the exterior section, they are inside, so we call it alternative interior angles, or alternate interior angles, which is exactly the same. Then on 23, we have what is the name for the relationship between 2 and 6. Now look at angle 2 and 6. They are on the same side. When they are on the same side, we are going to call it corresponding. So 2 and 6 are corresponding angles. And number 24, if A is parallel to B, what is the sum of 3 and 5? When we add 3 and 5, what should be our answer? If they are just a complete angle, it is 180. So just to make a summary about this, we also have another types of angles. In next class, we are gonna be talking about this again. We have alternate exterior angles. So that means taking into account the line you have on the middle, one angle is in the right, the other one is on the left. If they are the very exterior, we call it exterior. So alternate exterior angle. If they are inside the two lines, we are going to call it alternate interior angles. Remember, they should be one on the right, the other one on the left. If they are in the same side, so we call it corresponding, okay? So those are another types of angles just for you to know. So you already studied this according to its measure. You already studied this one according to their position between two angles. And also we have the ones I already talked about, okay? So I want you to complete the activities I already told you, but also as homework, I want you to answer from 1 to number 10, and that would be your homework activity from 1 to 10, page 250. Okay, so if you have any questions, remember you have a Zoom in the afternoon. You can just enter the Zoom and we can work together on any question you have related with this topic. Okay, so see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Love you. Bye.